Like, I mean, you can get some sort of perception out of how you present yourself. If you walk around and you're talking real loud and you're saying rude shit.
Yeah, but Dave, what you're saying is that you're judging somebody based on the perception of their social status as opposed to being based upon. Now, I get there might be something to be said there. There might be something to be said that, like, you know, police officers are going into situations where they don't know you. They don't know you as a person. They're basing their reactions off their first impression of you, right? They're only going off of that little bit of information that they have, right? They don't know you. They don't know your mom. They don't know whatever. They have no connection to you, which is why I think a lot of these things happen more in these large metropolitan cities and stuff as they do in like smaller communities and stuff where you might know your local police officer may know your history, may know what's going on, things like that. But that being said, like, there is still something, just because somebody looks ratty or whatever, or may stereotypically fit the description when you look at them as somebody who may be like more prone to violence, maybe a drug user or something like that, just because they fit that description does not mean that they deserve to be treated any differently than a person who may be dressed to the fucking nines fucking walking off of Wall Street.
I didn't say they should be treated any differently. I said you can tell the difference. Like, I mean, it's not like it's hard to see. Whether you choose to treat them different or not because of that perception is, I guess, the problem, or what you're talking about. Like,
all right, give me some substance here, man. Give me some substance, okay?
How much more substance do you need from me, Bo?
Because you're just saying like, oh, wait a second. Hey, we got some callers. All right, we got some callers here. We're going to go with the first one. I got two, so hang on the line. I got one from the 605. 605, you are live on the Dapper Baboon show. What's your name and what are you calling about?
I have told you before to leave Mars. I was here before you. Now I will instruct the Space Force to come after you, even though I'm in the southern part and you are in the northern part. You have been warned. Leave my planet. And if you don't know this is Joe by now, I don't know when the fuck.
Yeah, I did. I knew.
I could tell the voice, Joe, but then I was like, what the hell is Joe talking about? Is Joe on drugs tonight?
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. So I guess you guys are talking about the Minneapolis fiasco, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Give us
your
perspective.
Is that what you're talking about now? Nah. Well, I actually went and, in a way, because everybody, what got me, okay, now what the cop did was wrong because, again, he's supposed to put somebody's handcuffs, pick him up, put him in the back of the car, etc. And he had his knee on the guy's neck for about 5 to 8 minutes, whatever the estimate is. But for everybody, all the conservatives, and I know the liberals would have, but all the conservative pundits were talking about this, like, this cop is so bad, the worst cop ever. I'm saying, the cop did a bad thing, but a couple of months ago, if this had happened, everybody would have been kind of defending the cop. They would have said, we don't know what really happened. We have to have more video evidence. More evidence has to come in. And I'm saying, why all the talking points being practically the same here? Did some kind of memo go around to the conservatives? Because Hannity and Limbaugh, who definitely is not somebody who is in favor of black people. Shapiro's even worse. He's a closet racist. Levin didn't spend much time on it. But everybody's, what's his name, Hannity, spent over an hour talking about, and if you ever listen to Hannity, he's got cops in his family, and he's always maintaining that 99% of all the cops and the FBI people in the United States, the greatest intelligence of the... Huh? What'd you say?
He has to be. If we lost you, and I don't know. I don't know why he can't hear you. His shit gets fucked up sometimes too.
Oh, okay. All right. So what I'm getting at is that I'm saying that this is a setup. Somehow they're taking advantage of this particular operation to really continue on with the medical tyranny we're under to try to bring us, to our knees, America. They're going to use this in the very near future as some sort of catalyst for perhaps some sort of civil war or war between the cops and the populace. What really got to me was when there was the former police commissioner, Bernie Kerik from the state of New York. Now, you know, cops always circle the wagons. They never condemn a cop. All of a sudden, this guy is a former police commissioner. He's saying on the air that the cop who did this to that Floyd guy, that he's a psychopath. The former police commissioner. You had callers calling into these various talk shows saying they were either present cops or there were cops who who have left the force, no longer on the job, and they're saying this cop definitely did something wrong. And I'm saying, whoa, this is this is very, very, very strange. I think this is being a setup. First off, the guy Floyd was trying to pass a $20 bill, allegedly trying to pass a $20 bill as a counterfeit. He's also got a rap sheet. Also, this guy and the cop know each other. Supposedly, they've been bouncers at the same place. They may have had words before. So a lot of this stuff may come into play when they go to trial. But you still got the mayor of Minnesota, and you've got other political dignitaries saying they're already telling the public when they do this on the public airwaves, they're letting the future jury know that this cop is already guilty. I happen to believe in innocence before, presumption of innocence before guilt. Yes, the cop had the knee on the neck, but we've seen this before. We've seen white cops on black necks, on black faces. We know about how white cops have taken out their gun and shot 20 rounds into a car in which there was no ammo, no weapon in the car. And there were huge concerns from the black community. But now, not only did the black community go to the streets and start burning down buildings, I think 170 stores were lit up or destroyed, but now you've got the media saying that it's almost saying point blank it was all right for them to do so. And I'm saying, whoa, this is very, very strange. Something is going to happen in the future, and we're not going to see the best of it. It's going to be more like, well, martial law will have to be imposed now, citizens, because we don't know about future riots, because there's going to be there may be another incident sometime in the future, pretty soon probably. So my intent is up.
Did you hear what I was talking about earlier? Did you just join a little bit ago?
No, I just joined now. You guys are good in terms of picking up people who are on the switchboard. So I just got here now.
So I was saying earlier, to me it seemed like it was so perfect. It was clearly set up in the way that, like you mentioned, we've seen this before. I was saying that I was like, as a CIA operative, I was like saying, I wanted to be an intelligence officer. So I was like, and if I was an intelligence officer, here's what I would do. Maybe this cop, maybe something needed to go down. I was thinking if you start to look into the infrastructure of Minneapolis, or you try to see what's going on there, banking wise or political wise, or just the stuff that they have going. What if you really started to dig what you could find? Now they find this cop who's not a very good cop. He's had some disciplinary actions. He's had a rough career. He's not he's been a security guard, a bouncer. He's just not a good guy. So they approach him and they're like, listen, this is what you're going to do. We've got a guy that's going to come up. He's going to record the whole thing. I mean, because they just sat there and recorded this dude suffer just right in his face. They didn't do anything. Nobody there was no real, if there's riots now, I mean, they planned this. It seems it's so just orchestrated that something else was going on. It had to have been going on in that city because they needed it to happen in that city. So they knew, hey, once you do this, we're going to share it everywhere, and it's going to go viral, and people are going to go nuts, and this is going to happen. So now all the cops in Minneapolis are busy. They're in a big line ducking water bottles and shit while something else is going on. And we know no idea what happened. We don't know. We don't care. We can't even imagine what it could be. Why would they do that? You know what I mean? Like, it's just something that's completely out of our even scope of why they would want to start something like that, because they needed to accomplish something in that amount of time in that city, and now they did. Now it's over. We'll forget about it. It won't last. I mean, in 2 months, nobody's even going to talk about it anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you're right about the orchestration. I don't think they did it exactly the way that you're suggesting, because that means they came to the cop and they had him participate in his own hanging. I think what they might have done is that they were planning for it and they were going to wait for any opportunity. Because don't forget, the mayor, as soon as this incident happened, he was on the airwaves saying the cop is he didn't even say, we'll investigate the cop and find out what happens. He's saying the cop is a bad cop. He should be. I think the cop might have done murder. So I think that they set it up. They might have had rumblings of racial tension in the city for maybe a few months or a year, and they probably planted through memos. I'm just making this up as I go along. You know, this is like a spotlight.
Right.
This
Spitball.
is like something crazy. Yeah, you know, it's like something Clancy might think of. And then said to the mayor and to various mayors and to the governor of the state, we're having racial tensions. I mean, we can't really have that, and we can't. We need to have the cops tougher. So what may have happened, is that the memo came out. We need to clamp down right away, and anything that might show there's dissidents or citizens' resistance against the COVID, and we need the hard cops to be the hard cops. So as a result, this guy was the perfect patsy, you know, and
right.
I think
Steve,
the finger just happened to, huh?
Go ahead.
And I think he just happened to be the wrong guy in the wrong place, and they took advantage of it. I think it could have been him, could have been anybody else, and I think they may have just said to cops, you got to be hard, you got to make sure that they know you own the streets, you know? Appeal to their vanity. You own the streets. Do not let them think for a minute that they can rule you. We have to show dissidents. We have to show civilian disobedience. We have to show anybody that they have to obey the law. The law is there for your safety, our safety, their safety, and rah, 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 siskumba. So it could have been him, could have been anybody else. It could have been somebody a cop who just took a guy and threw him down to the ground, even picked him up, put him in the car. Then the media would have said something about it anyway. And then, I don't know if you mentioned it, but the riots, from what I understand, they seem to have been orchestrated too. As a matter of fact, there was a woman on another show who said that she was watching the video of somebody who had an umbrella, dressed all in black, had a hammer, started breaking in the windows of a particular store. The black people said, don't do that. What are you doing, bro? So the guy starts to move away. But the guy turns his face around. He's dressed in black. He has a mask on, but it's a white guy. So I'm thinking, I've said this like for years. I said, if a civil war is going to come, or there's going to be a disruption between the police and the citizen, it's going to be orchestrated by, I didn't think about Antifa at the time. It's going to be orchestrated by the CIA, the FBI, in order to have something come down the pike. So this may be it. So it's just too well orchestrated on both ends, and the ends are on the side of the rioters and on the side of the cops. So back to you, man.
Well, here's the thing, like about the guy. How do we know that like I said, are we going to follow this guy for the next 10 years and see what he's up to and see what his life's turned like and see if he's what are we going to do? Is he going to get charged for murder? Is he going to go to prison for murder? If he does go for prison for murder, is it going to be like a publicized trial? We see it and he goes to murder? And who's to say he goes to the cell afterwards? If it's way high up, they're like, listen, this is going to hit the fan, you know what I mean? But we're going to take care. You're going to go somewhere else. You're going to have a new name, new career, new life, new home. Like, you're not going to be this guy anymore. I mean, like, who knows? Like, who knows how deep the rabbit hole goes? You know, and I'm making all of this up.